All right, what is up, my fellow anti-netters and my fellow shitweasels of YouTube seeking free Zettelkasten content? Hello to you too, my fellow shitweasels. Hey, so what I want to talk to you about is essentially Zettelkasten for entrepreneurs, meaning like if you're busy, if you have a freaking life, if you have a 9 to 5 job, or if you have other, conquests that you like to endure in life that doesn't involve just sitting around like Nicholas Lumen or Scott P. Shepard himself and just freaking writing by pen all day like a badass in his own mind, then guess what? This video is for you. It's for entrepreneurs and people that actually want to make use out of a Zettelkasten and the Zettelkasten reading workflow using Bib Cards, which is a concept foreign to all of the digital bubble graph boys and butt graph boys of Obsidian and all the digital Zettelkasten tools. Then here's what I want to walk you through, okay? So here is a comment on my most recent video, which I actually, in this video, I dropped quite a few F-bombs and went on some rants about my elementary school teachers and stuff because it was a frickin' Friday when I recorded it. It was tired, and yeah, that's basically the background, okay? So anyway, on that video, I got this comment, okay? We're going to read it together. It says, it's from Nick Ruiz. He's actually a guy that I did one of my first coaching calls with and taught the Anti-Net Zettelkasten, okay? And here's what it says. It says, hey, Scott, it's Nick. I'm pretty sure I'm your first coaching call that you put on this channel like a year and a half ago. I love your work, brother. I've read about 50 to 60 books since then, but I'm kind of a schmuck. I created Bib Cards for them, but never installed most of them. Not sure why, I guess procrastination and getting deep into books. I want to start installing them into the main Anti-Net. What do you recommend? So what I actually responded initially, because I was on the go, I was just like, hey, pick up my book. But he actually already got my book, my 594-page Beast Tomb. And so then I said, okay, well, pick up the book and read the chapter on creation. Now, here's the thing. I've got some further thoughts on this. So I want to show you this. In the chapter on creation, which, frickin' A, magically, I have actually a bookmark, and it's open on that page. So in this chapter, there's on page 476, there's something called XREF Collectives, okay? And so this is what, if you're Nick Ruiz, God damn it, I can't hold my page still. If you are Nick Ruiz or a busy entrepreneur, I recommend you heavily invest in something called XREF Collectives. And what that means is basically instead of writing out like a main note for each idea you get out of a book, you just create like a simple reference. And then in the chapter called Index, which actually the chapter on Index is a really, really good chapter to read. I recommend you all read that. There is something called key term index cards, okay? That's outlined on page 304, okay? So what Nick is essentially talking about is he has basically read a ton of books and placed them on bib cards like these, for instance. Let me find some good examples with like a ton of notes or something. I guess, yeah, let's pull out, what's a good one? Probably this one. This could work. This is the Brene Brown book. Okay, so he's got like a bunch of cards like these, which just have like ideas and the page number on the left. So, one idea is you could take every single one of these ideas, and he's got probably 50 or 60 of these cards, and write out a main note, like a main card that reflects and like elaborates on each of these ideas. Now that would probably take like 5 frickin' years to do. So I wouldn't frickin' recommend doing that. Here's what I would actually recommend. Let me just make sure I'm actually installing this in the right place. Okay. Brown, Brene Brown. I think it goes right here. There we go. So I wouldn't recommend investing, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Like, I mean, frickin' Nick's probably, he's a genius. He's a successful entrepreneur. He's got kids. He's got a frickin' life. So I wouldn't recommend him put his career and everything on stall. I mean, he's already extracted a ton of knowledge and learning. He's done a lot of great things by having all of those cards. So it's great to like that he can go through them, right? And refresh on all of that knowledge that he gleaned from each book without having to suffer through getting lost in Kindle highlights and going through all that crap, right? So what I recommend he does is instead of creating a main card, which a main card kind of looks like something like this, like you write out a full on paragraphs and elaborate, and it's like as if you're writing, an essay or paper and breaking apart the ideas by cards. I would not recommend him do that for each one of those, like those bib notes. And, a bib note is essentially a note within the bib card. Okay, so there's some glossary vocab for you. What I would recommend him do, like I said, is use a key term index card and then create something called XREFs. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of an XREF. I'm just going to, I have no rehearsing, just going to pull this out. So in my copywriting index filed under C, here's an external XREF. It says Gary Halbert's copywriting business model, free flyout offer. It says Gary Halbert letter, April 1992, page 6. So that's an external reference. So anytime I want to actually look up copywriting or ideas about copywriting, all I have to do is look that up, and then I'm going to go find that issue of the newsletter, which is really easy because I've got it categorized by date and month, and then just navigate to that, right? And so I don't have to actually elaborate on each one and create a main note. So what I would do is basically, refer to those key term index cards and create some external references and be very, very swift, very fast. Do not get bogged down. Now, this highlights the other important thing. I am assuming Nick Ruiz essentially doesn't have a book or a project or a thing that he's actually writing and elaborating on. Now, if he did, I would still recommend he do that. But then after he gets all of the external references, of all, let's say they gather around real estate, the real estate card. I would then go and look up all the ideas that came from that and then start writing and creating main cards using the creation chapter in Anti-Net Zettelkasten, that book, and start writing and producing output, in terms of writing main cards and then taking those main cards and turning it into something, output. Okay, so this isn't just digital bubble graph boy obsidian stuff where you just fart around and link notes and create maps of content and every frickin' 3 months you've got a new term to get your nipples hard over. No, that is not what this is about. This is about frickin' producing knowledge, writing, and output. And if you don't have a project in mind, just do the XREFs. Do it simply. Grab your bib cards, right? And then just create these XREFs like this. I'm going to show you one more before we sign off here, okay? Here's another XREF, okay? This is under D, deduction, Howard, see Howard, page 80, 137. If I look up Howard in here, I can figure out what the hell Howard even refers to, okay? So, I don't know, where is it? Cool, Howard. So, Thinking on Paper, that's that book, okay? And then you just figure out go get the book, look at the page number if I want to write about deduction, and then boom, I've got it. So that's what you do. That's all you got to do. Create XREFs, be fast, time yourself. I recommend using one of these block timers, cube timers. Don't get frickin' bogged down. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to move fast. You don't need to get bogged down in theory all day, and you don't need to be like Nicholas Luhmann, himself. And all you need to do is be efficient, create XREFs, create XREF Collectives on the page number I outlined in this beast of a book. And that's pretty much it. So hope that helps. I'm going to get back to writing issue number 11 of the Scott Shepard letter. That's what's on my desk right now. I'm just cranking away. I think it's the best freaking origin story and storytelling framework, story selling framework ever. And look, I'm not even hyping it up enough. I'm only hyping it up to you freaking shit weasels on YouTube in this corner. So if you haven't, subscribe to the Scott Shepard letter. And if you haven't, of course, pick up Anti-Net Zettelkasten, and you can see all that stuff in the description below. Peace and love, and stay crispy, my friend, you freaking shit weasels. Bye.